What is up, Emperors? TitoBods here, and today we have received a huge announcement from each of Emperor's Mobile because today they have announced the preview about the migration and what to do. We also have steps and arrangement on how we can do the migration. And if this is your first time hearing about this, it is also mine. So let's explore about this announcement and use together. Before anything else, slap that like button and drag this video out to your friends. And since 78% of you guys watching are not yet subscribed to the channel, I encourage you to do so. We also have our tip link here on screen. You can leave a message or comment on that so I can answer or recognize your message on our next video. We now have our super chat and super thanks, and if you want to be a member of the channel, you can get perks like custom icons, custom emotes, and enjoy members-only content. And with that, let's go back to topic. So as a Supercore, we have received this announcement just today also. And as a Supercore, we are actually entitled for advanced announcements like this so that we can also share it to the public. But anyway, as it says here, as powers across the Empire continent continue to intertwine and expand, a large-scale migration event is actively brewing. Catherine will be the first to bring you the inside scoop on migration rules. Pardon me if I will be a little bit stuttering about some of these parts of the announcement because this is also my first time hearing about this and reading this, so that my video about this with you guys is going to be genuine and 100% raw. So here it is also, the migration stages. This migration event includes 3 stages. So we have the migration preview, we have the migration application, and free migration. Ooh, I like the sound of that, free migration. And then here is the stage 1 migration stages. Migration event includes 3 stages, as I've said. So the stage 1 is a migration preview over here. During this stage, the Empire Administrator can edit the migration power limit and the Empire announcement. Okay, so there is going to be an Empire Administrator. I just wonder who would that Empire Administrator be. I think it's going to be the king. Maybe it's going to be the king, or maybe the king can choose who this administrator is going to be. Then we have here number 2, the migration power limit. Several power options above 20 mil will be provided for the Empire administrator to choose from. Okay, that's a good point. The migration chat channel opens. Okay, then governors interested in migrating can contact the administrators of their favored empires in advance to expedite the approval of their migration applications during the migration application stage. Okay, not too shabby for the migration power limit. I just hope that it's going to be, well, it's going to be fair for everyone on that server. I'm really okay with this, that there's going to be an administrator to control the power limit, especially if actually the server needs a little bit of firepower. They're going to adjust that server power, or several power options above 20 mil. For sure, they're going to adjust that power limit there. And then stage 2 migration application. During this stage, governor can submit migration applications to their pre-board empires. Applications from governors whose power is below their pre-board empire limit are considered regular migration applications. Okay, so applications from governors whose power is below their pre-board empire's limit are considered regular migration applications. Okay, while those above the limit are classified as special migration. Okay, so I hope there's something, I think there's something brewing under the water here with the special migration application as a classified one. Anyway, empire administrators will review migrations applications from other empires. When an application is approved, the immigration slot is deducted from the empire's quota for the event. Oh, so there's going to be a quota for this. Oh, good going. If the migration quota reaches 0, no more applications can be approved. Once an application is approved, the player must complete their migration within the specified time limit. Okay, that is also a good point. And then you can cancel your application at any time as long as it hasn't been reviewed yet. Okay, so when you have your doubts, there is still a chance for you to cancel your application, which is actually a good thing. So sometimes we are actually very impulsive when it comes to decisions like this, especially if our server is struggling or you need some breath of fresh air. That is why sometimes migration is just from impulse and not from actually deciding in the matter. Anyway, the stage 3 free migrations. Okay, this is what I really am looking for because a lot of players are actually wanting to migrate to our server, and I think this is what they really are waiting for. During this stage, governors below their favored empire's migration power limit can freely migrate there. Governors below their favored emperor's power limit can freely migrate there. Okay. Any leftover regular migration slots will turn into free migration slots. Oh. Okay, so if there are going to be free, if there are going to be leftover from the migrations, it's going to be a free migration slots for others. Okay, I didn't see that coming. But is there going to be a leftover for regular migrations? Um, well, maybe I guess. Oh yeah. So if ever there are a lot of migrants that want to migrate to your server, I think so. Not all of them are going to be able to be on a regular migration basis because most of them for sure are going to be over the limit, or some of them. So there are going to be a left or some leftover slots there for sure, and that's going to be the the slots for free migration. So there is still a chance for high powered accounts to be transferred, I think, because of the free migration. Because if in my opinion, if it's a free migration, it's free for all, may it be low powered or high powered, depending on the review of the administrator that's going to accept the migration. Isn't that right? So I think it's going to depend actually on the official administrator of the migration, I think. So here it is, the administrator permission. Okay, so as we were just talking about it, the Empire administrator can edit their Empire's migration power limit and Empire announcement during the migration preview stage, and review applications from those wishing to migrate to their Empire during the migration application stage. The king of the server. Okay, this was the thought that was that has come into mind when I hear about the administration earlier. Will act as the Emperor's administrator. I knew it. I knew it from the get-go. If it's not going to be the king, it's going to be assigned by the king for sure. If there is no king, the leader of the top alliance takes over. Ooh, feisty. So there is also an influence here from the KVK, because if we don't have a king, sometimes this happens when when you lose the KVK and you are defending, so you don't have a king. Or sorry, you are attacking, so when you lose, you won't have a king. But rather, if you are actually attacking or defending, sorry, and you lose, you will have a king, but the king is the king of the other server. Is it going to be like that? Is it going to be like that? Oh, no, no, no. Because it's only taken over by that king. So still your server won't have a king if you lose the KVK during the migration stage. Oh, it's going to be feisty. Okay, so during this migration event, the administrator won't be changed once the event enters the previous stage. Okay, so there is going to be a lot of pressure to this king during this migration event. That is a lot of responsibility for one person. So I think it's going to be a complete, or should be a complete what do you call this, cooperation from all of the leaders in the position to have or to get players from other, or to accept players from other servers as a whole. Because if the leaders from different alliances in the kingdom is not at peace, there is going to be a problem on that specific kingdom for sure. That is why the civil war is going to be also a huge or will have a huge impact during this administrator permission, or during this my entire migration process. Anyway, even if the king or top alliance leader's position is transferred to another player. Okay, so let's read that again. During the migration event, the administrator will be changed once the event enters the previous stage, even if the king or top alliance leader's position is transferred to another player. Okay, so once you are entitled the king's name during that time, there will be no turning back, even if you are transferred. So it's best if your king, or if your designated administrator is the king during the month, so that you can actually make sure that your administrator is the one that is actually in the position of king during this event. Because sometimes you will have a mislook, or you can overlook on the schedule, and sometimes when that happens, it's going to be a huge problem. Okay, so we have here the migration pass. This is how it will look like in the game, I think. So migration requires migration passes. The higher your previous power, the more migration passes you will need. Oh, so you will need multiple numbers, or multiple migration passes. How to obtain the migration passes? Apart from purchasing packs, another purchasing spending spree here. So part purchasing the packs, a certain number of migration passes will be given out to you for free. Ooh, free is like It's like a music to my ear, you know. For free each time the migration event is launched. Each time? So how many times? How many times are going to be there on the migration event? Let's see. So migration quota. Within each migration zone, empires are classified as either leading empires or regular empires based on their strength. Okay, there's some kind of label like that. Empires ranking in the top 20% by power within each migration zone are considered leading empires. Oh, okay. Empire's power will be set based on the historic power of the top 200 players of that empire. Oh, wow. Leading empires have approximately 30 total migration slots. Then regular empires will have approximately 50. Oh, so the regular empires will have more migration slots. So here in the regular empires, it says that each empire has several special migration slots for approving governors whose power exceeds the empire's migration power limit during the migration stage. All right. Specifically, 3 for a regular empire and 1 for a leading empire. Special migration slots don't count towards the total migration quota. Oh, all right. Now I understand about that. The quota replenishes by 1 every month. Oh, what? So there is like a there is like 1 free migration every month. I mean, like slots every month. That's what I understand from this. Let's read that. In regular empires have approximately 50 total migration slots. Each empire has several special migration slots for approving governors whose power exceeds the empire's migration power limit during the migration application stage. Specifically, 3 for regular empire, 1 for leading empire. So they're talking about the special migration slots, which is going to be above the quota. Okay, so we have 1 quota or 1 per limit. Okay, and then I sorry 1 for above the limit. Okay, for power for migration. Sorry, for the um leading empires. Then regular empires has 3. Okay, now I understand. So if ever you have 10 players exceeding that quota or that power limit, I think, or let's say you only got like 10 for the leading empires, and then one of those or 2 of those happen to be exceeding the limit of the power limit that your empire administrator set. So I think the one of those 2 will be considered as a special migration slot, and then we'll give you the slot. So we have still, for example, this is just 10. Okay, so we have, let's say, 8 that has already been accepted. 1 is actually above the limit, so it's going to be a special migration slot. So you have accepted 9, so you have still 1 total for the 10. Then it says that it will reset for every month. So the next month, your 1 leading empire quota or the special migration quota slots here is going to replenish by the next month. So you can accept another leading or sorry, you can accept another special migration the next month to complete your 10 migration slots. That's what I get from that. I'm not sure, but that's how I understand it. Then next one is the regular migration quota will always be less than the total migration quota. Okay, so there will definitely be slots available during the free migration stage. Yeah, I have been actually thinking about this also, the free migration stage. Of the total quota, more slots are allocated to regular migration and fewer to the free migration. Okay, so I think if you haven't used, if you didn't use 20, I think they're going to cut it off to make it fair for everyone, because as I was saying, maybe the free migration will not have like a special migration slots like requirements or something like that, and since it's going to be a free migration, they're going to cut it off or cut off some other slots that hasn't been used, so that it will be fair for the other empires that have used up all their migration slots. I think that's what's going to happen, but still I'm not sure about this because it's not that clear on what will happen on this migration quota. So we have here, although we have here the migration requirements, so all must be met. Okay, in order for you to migrate to an empire with available migration slots, you must meet the following requirements. Your citadel, number 1, must reach level 18. Okay, note on that. Citadel is not at war and has no marching troops outside. Well, that's given. Outside, okay, 33, or this is, I think, is a mistype. Look at this. This is not actually final announcement for sure. So no wounded units await treatment or collection to hospital. So there should be no units in your hospital. Okay, that's the third one. You are not a member of any alliance. Oh my. So you are not a member of any alliance, okay? So you must be really sure to migrate if you are going to do this, because you should not be a member of any alliance. You are not serving as an administrator or current empire in this migrant. Of course, you're not going to be migrating if you were nominated as the administrator. That's given, bro. Next one is the migration application stage. Your application has been approved by your favored empire administrator. I'm not sure what that means. I mean, migration application stage. Your application has been approved. Okay, okay, I get it now. Sorry, sorry. So, in order for you to migrate, you should be accepted. Yeah, yeah. It's actually given. Free migration stage. Okay, this one is the one that I was also going to talk about. The free migration stage. Your power is below your favored. Okay, so that clears that now. So remember about the migration quota earlier. So as I was thinking that when it's going to be a free migration, it just means that you can either migrate here on the server or on our empire, for example, and then you won't be needing a power limit. Since it's a free migration, it's going to happen on the last, for sure after, I think it's for sure after the formal migration stage. And now it just says here that you can only migrate as a free migration on the free migration stage, sorry, if your power is below the favored empire's migration power limit. Okay, so that clears that up. So if you are higher than that, even if you have waited for this, you won't be able to migrate. So really, the free migrations are going to be for low-powered players, especially if you think about it. So they are mostly the free-to-play and the low spenders, and of course, they're not going to purchase those bundles in the game in order for them to migrate. So if ever you have a friend on the other server that you want to get into the or into your server, make sure that your friend won't exceed the limit that is going to be set by your administrator. And next one is make sure that you have saved a slot for that friend, because on the free migration stage, for sure there's going to be only a limited slot, and other players on your server or your empire, for example, if your empire is a competing empire or a challenger empire that is always challenging or almost at the top, you have to consider saving slots for your friends in the game so that they can have this free migration, because for sure this is going to be exclusive slots for your empires. So we also have the notes here. Okay, so your migration will have the following effects. Please note. Oh, I'm really happy that they have made this type of effort into this, like resources and progress from purchases. Resources and progress from purchases and top-ups will be retained. Okay, that is good. That is good. Such as PIP, top-up events, progress, etc. All progress rewards from your current battle passes will be sent to you via mail after migration is complete. Okay, that is also good to hear. Your first top-up pack and Empire Glory pack purchase status will be reset after migration. Oh, okay. Your first top-up pack and will reset after migration. Okay, I understand it now. Then your citadel's unprotected resources will only be retained up to your warehouse limit. Oh my. So if you have exceeded your warehouse limit and it is unprotected, it will not be retained. Okay. Other personal development resources will be preserved, such as heroes, protected resources, etc. Your current citadel queue progress will be maintained. Okay, such as building queues, forging queues, etc. Your gameplay progress will be preserved, such as island tactics, supply bounties, etc. Okay, that's a good thing. So the only thing that's going to be reset is the top-up pack, first top-up pack, and Emperor Glory pack. Purchase status. Okay. Then your gameplay progress will be reserved. Yeah, sorry, I have read that twice. The progress of all events you currently participate in will be reset. Okay. Such as the Mightiest Governor. Okay, so if you are doing the Mightiest Governor event during this time, haha, it's going to be a problem for you. The Mightiest Empire. Oh, that sucks if the Mightiest Empire is ongoing if you've done that. So anyway, if I suggest if you guys want to transfer to another server, to migrate to another server, make sure that your empire or your kingdom is not a fighting or a challenger kingdom or top kingdoms, because you're going to waste a lot of progress when it comes to your Mightiest Empire, especially the resource the event itself, because it will also affect the stellar glory, as you can see here, and it's going to affect your overall performance in the stellar glory and overall rewards for sure. So there's also more here, as you can see, and I think there's going to be more considerations on other events here when it says more. So there will be other events here that's going to be hit by this migration process. Please make sure to claim the rewards for the progress you have already completed. If those events are available in the new empire, you can participate again. If you're already completed Wonder Contest or Battle of Dawn registration before migration, you may not be able to participate in them. Okay. In the new Empire's first instance. You will also not be able to participate in the new Empire's first instance. Okay. So that sucks. Your server mail will be cleared after all available rewards are automatically claimed. That's okay, that's fine. Your friends list, group chats, and private message history will all be preserved. At least your friends and group chats and other things that you have made with your friends in the game on chat will be preserved. I think that's a consolation right there. After completing migration during the migration event, you cannot migrate again until the next migration event. Okay, so the thing is, how many migration events will there be? Okay, one thing is for me, if you are planning to migrate and it's really like you haven't decided or you are really decided to migrate, you can do it actually in this first migration process. Now, if ever you are not yet sold on migrating, but your mind and your heart is telling you that you need to migrate, maybe you need to think about it harder first before you migrate. Because if I were you, and if ever my kingdom was not actually on top or not actually competing to be on top, and what I will do is wait out this one and then go or wait for the next migration process, or maybe you can actually migrate to another server that is a little bit better than yours if you are having problems with your current server. And I think that's a good thing that they are going to do multiple migration. And I think it's also good for the game overall, because migrating or the migration process like this is kind of hectic. And also, if migration is available for everyone but it's only a limited time, there's going to be a problem with that. So I think this is a wise choice to have a migration every now and then, so that the other players are actually going to have fun more for sure if they are transferred to the server that they really want to go to, and especially if those servers are kind of dying right now. So I think this is a huge improvement if this will happen. So anyway, we also have the server migration schedules here. This is not final though. The migration event will begin with Advanced Kingdom. So the Advanced Kingdom is the realm, the kingdoms 1 to 10, and then the servers will be divided into 2 migration zones based on server ecosystem factors, hero release schedule, server power, etc., with migration occurring within these zones. Migration Group 1, so Realm 001 until Kingdom 10. Okay, so they are actually dividing this one. Migration Group 1 is Realm 001, Kingdom 2, Kingdom 6, Kingdom 8, and Kingdom 10. Migration Group number 2, Kingdom 1, Kingdom 3, Kingdom 5, and Kingdom 9. Migration preview, sorry, is on June 3 to June 9. Okay, migration application is from June 10 to June 11. So the first kingdoms that are going to be in this is just from the realm 1 to kingdom 10. Then free migration June 12 to June 13. So you have 2 days as 2 days to migrate, or 2 days for to apply. Then the free migration is going to happen 2 days also. And then migration preview is from June 3 to 9. I think this is the preparation. The migration preview, this is going to be the preparation. So application is June 10 and 11. Free migration is 12 and 13. So when is it going to be announced, like the migration application approval? Migration events are expected to begin in the Empire servers at the times listed below. Please stay tuned for future announcements regarding specific migration zones. Migration preview for our, I think, Empire is going to be June 10 to June 16. Oh, it's just a few days away from the kingdoms. Migration application June 17 to 18. Free migration June 19 to June 20. So for those of you guys or emperors who are actually watching this video, take note of this, because I think it is not yet on some of the chats in Discord and other videos. But right now, to all governors in the above servers, please discuss your migration arrangement with the governors administrator and start application ahead of time. Wish you a smooth migration process. Okay, so this is a lot of information actually to process in my head, but honestly, they are really giving a lot of thought into this migration process, and I think that it is wise that they have also free migration. But honestly, the free migration should be given to the players who really wanted to transfer to another kingdom but doesn't have any resources or ability to purchase bundles. And I think the administrator from our kingdom can actually choose on them from the get-go instead of doing it on the stage 3. So I think they should actually have like a certain amount of slots for these free migrations, because sometimes what will happen is if they don't register on the migration application or they were not approved, what will happen is for sure they're going to be uh, counted as a or counted on for the free migration. And I think the slots will be given to them, and maybe some of the slots will be taken away. But I think the problem is that when the free migration comes, it's going to be like a leftover. Really, like they said it in this announcement that it's going to be a leftover regular migration slots will turn into free migration slots. So if ever you have 20, so you have 20 free migrations. But it also said on other parts of the migration process that they will lessen the number of migration slots to give to the pre-migration slots if a lot of leftover regular migration slots will be unused. So I think there is that. But the migration process is okay. It's kind of going to be a huge responsibility for the administrator of the kingdom, like the king. One thing is the let's say like the advantage of this is your king or your head of your kingdom or the administrator is going to have a power to increase the power limit. The power limit of your kingdom that is or that will be accepted in your kingdom, the kingdom a power limit for the players that will be accepted to your kingdom. Okay, I just rephrased that. And then I think it's actually a good thing, especially for the struggling kingdoms, to have that kind of luxury, to have the power to approve or accept a high powered individual that wants to come to their kingdom. The only problem is if you are a high powered player, of course you're going to want to go to leading kingdoms or kingdom leaders, or so top kingdoms or top alliances. So I think that is that. And then also, of course, for the competing kingdoms, the top kingdoms or the top empires, it's going to be a huge advantage for you guys to choose whichever you want. Especially on choosing which players to accept, you should actually talk to them first, interview them. It's like an interview for the high ranking players, right? Even though they are high ranking, sometimes you cannot really control them, or sometimes they are they are hard to control when it comes to like political stuff and personal stuff, especially in game. So you really need to watch out for that and be worry about those kinds of things. And number one concern, I think, is, well, actually I have already said two concerns or two views about the migration process. Number three, I think, is the only thing that I am worried about this is going to be the number of slots that the non or the regular empires, as they have titled it, like there is going to be more migration slots on those kingdoms. And actually, as I have said this one before, no kingdoms in the top alliances are actually safe when it comes to the rankings, because if ever the regular kingdoms will, or regular empires will have more players that are actually active, there's going to be a huge amount of disparity when it comes to players activity, because sometimes the top kingdoms will have top players but will not have the manpower. Like I think it's going to be wise if they happen to have that, like the devs have the ability to limit only how many power limit can the administrator set. Like for example, the top kingdoms or top alliance or top empires, let's say the devs limit their acceptance of highest power to 50M or 60M, let's say. So I think that's okay. And then the regular kingdoms or regular empires or the regular empires will have higher than that when it comes to power limit acceptance or approvals, let's say 80 million or 100 million. So I think the disparity when it comes to power will be solved on that case. But mostly there are actually more let's say it's like mid-range powered, like mid-class level powered players, like let's say 40M, 30M players that are actually active. Now their account is not that strong, but when push come to shove, if those players are active, 30 40 mil powered players are actually active, then the high powered players on the other kingdoms are actually less numbers and less active than the mid-powered players. Those mid-powered players and the empires, or the lower, let's say the regular empires, will actually overtake that top empire, and I think that's going to be the problem when it comes to the top empire. So the thing is, I hope that what they will do here is that they will have a power cap for the administrators to limit their powers. For example, to the high power kingdom or the top kingdoms and empires, to limit their, for example, limit their power limit approval to, let's say, 60M when it comes to migration, and then actually on the regular kingdoms or empires to limit their power limit approval to 100 or 80M, so that at least they will have a few or at least they will have like more chances of landing those high powered players to come to their kingdoms. And then the number of slots should be at least closer, like 20 and then 30. And then with that power cap, I think the regular kingdoms or the regular empires will actually have a fair vantage point on that. And with this, I think, let's see what will happen. But I think that's my point of view regarding that. And I didn't really realize that the migration process is going to be this hectic. And good luck to the administrator who's going to be chosen to be the one to accept these players who are going to apply for the migration. But here is what my expectation is in this matter. There are going to be kingdoms that are going to have a few migration applications, and there are going to be kingdoms or empires that are going to have full application process. Like let's say 50 or let's say 60 70 players wanted to go to their kingdom. Actually, the kingdoms that are just fair or just in the middle ground of top and regular are going to be the kingdoms that most players are going to target. So I think that's going to be it. And then make sure before you accept any players into your kingdom, you have to have like a job interview on there on that part. That's, I think, is the best part about it. Anyway, but this is going to be a huge responsibility for the administrator of the kingdoms to do this job. Anyway, actually this job is really for like for devs, but they're giving this to players. Well, it is actually an advantage, so that that player is going to have a freedom when it comes to accepting or denying players who wanted to go to their kingdom. But still, the process is a little bit ruthless for me, just a little bit. And then there's like some part of it that I want to improve. I think they will improve it, but overall, let's see what this migration or this first migration will take us, and let's see if there's going to be like a transparency when it comes to how many players have migrated to this kingdom, how many players have been accepted to this kingdom. And I hope there's something like that that will happen, so that we will know if ever that kingdom or some of the kingdoms will have better players, so that we can prepare, of course, because we are also a competing kingdom, and though we are not on that high peak of the top, but still we are a fighting kingdom, and we want to add to that power in order for us to really get to the point wherein we are going to be more competitive when it comes to the top tier players in the higher kingdoms and empires. But anyway, question is for you: are you planning to migrate on other kingdoms or other servers? And what's the servers or kingdoms that is in your mind right now? Whatever your answer is, kindly leave them in the comment section down below. And for sure, let's talk about migration here. If you have any other questions, I am happy to answer them. And if you want to go to our kingdom, make sure to message me also on my Discord channel, and let's talk about it. So anyway, thank you for checking out this video and hearing out what I have to say about the migration stages and migration process, and about this announcement in game. And with all that, thank you for checking out this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell if you are new to the channel, so that you will always be notified whenever we have a new video like this, and also if we are going on live. And with that, have a great day always, governors and emperors, and TitoBods out.